Waterwight, Book 1, Chapter 33. This is the Overleaders chapter. Despite her heightened senses, Sharon couldn't hear the melody in the water. She had no memory of music, and she never could have imagined what she'd become. "Leave us alone," her mother had told her daily while growing up, shooing her out the door each morning with an apple or perhaps, if she were lucky, a sandwich. "She's such an inconvenience," she'd hear her father mutter. Her parents were scientists. Bioengineers, they called themselves. Beyond that, they shared nothing. Their house was always a mess of mathematical instruments, beakers, and complicated paraphernalia, and she had no idea what they worked on while she played. Every morning, Sharon would stand outside their front door and wonder how to fill the day until nightfall, when her parents would allow her back in for a rushed, flavorless dinner before sending her to her bedroom. "What's that?" she asked them one night when she was about 5. She heard what sounded like a baby crying from somewhere in the house, or maybe even from under the house. She noted strange expressions on her parents' faces when they looked at one another. It looked like fear, but Sharon didn't believe big people were afraid of anything. "It's just the wind. Now go to bed or you'll stay out longer tomorrow." Her mother's tone left no room for discussion. Sharon continued to hear the wind crying for several more months, and then it finally stopped. She was glad when it did, because it always made her sad. The first time she found her way through the thick forest hiding their house from those in the village on the other side, she was filthy and disheveled. She had never before encountered people other than her parents, and she stood stone-like, eyes wide, with an awkward and bewildered smile upon her dirty face. "Hi, you!" She had pointed a finger at the first child she saw. "What?" the child had responded, jumping away. He hadn't noticed her in the shadows of the tree line. "What do you want?" "You," was all Sharon could think to say. "Mom!" the child called, running away from her. Shunned by everyone she saw that day, children seemed frightened by her appearance and mothers pulled them away. She fled back to the shelter of her forest, humiliated and angry. It didn't take long before she figured out a way to use what she learned from her parents and from the cold stares of strangers on other living things near her house. By the time she was a young teen, she had learned how to lure innocent creatures from their hiding places in the forest and kill them, not for food or fur or anything functional, just for the satisfaction of imposing her power over them. She envied their freedom and innocence. She fantasized about what it might feel like to be them. She loved hiding some of the bloody parts around her house to startle her parents. The rest she would leave for the lone vulture that inevitably made an appearance after a kill. With the ugly bird, she felt her only kinship. Shortly before the event, she awoke one morning to an empty house. Her parents were gone. No discussion, no note, just gone, leaving her alone in the house that had already begun to decay around them, unloved and uncared for as she'd been all those long, lonesome years. That ends chapter 33 of book 1.